Hey guys, it's Devin at 25 Designs. I'm going to walk you through some of the features of my Dreamy Effects PSD and hopefully help you obtain the best outcome. When you open the PSD for the first time, you're going to see two folders, one labeled darker images, one labeled lighter images. Depending on the photo you're using will determine which folder you're going to work in. Lighter images, images shot in the daytime, you'll be using the lighter images folder for the most part. Images shot in the dark or just generally dark images, you're going to use the dark images folder. So for this walkthrough, I'm going to use the dark images folder, and you're going to expand it, and you're going to see a bunch of folders, a bunch of layers. But to begin, we're going to replace the background image with your own image, and I'll show you how to do that. You're going to double click this thumbnail. A new document will open where you will place your image. I recommend high quality images, as big as you can get them. Lower quality images like old cell phone blurry pictures, they might not give you the same effect that you see when I presented it to you. So I'm going to enlarge this a little bit, and I'm going to accept. And chances are you're probably not going to have an image that's 3000 by 2000 pixels. So you're going to want to crop it. So you're going to use the crop tool. And it's this little, it's just like a weird DNA looking symbol here. And you're going to want to drag it so the canvas matches the size of your image, just like this. Yours might be a different size. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you drag it to match your image. You're going to accept the changes. You're going to go to File, Save. File, Save. Not File, Save As. Oh, it looks like I need to fix this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go to File, Save. We're going to close it out. And the PSD that you downloaded is going to have your image showing in the background now. The only problem is we have this border because we need to resize this canvas as well. So you're going to use the same crop tool. Just make sure up here you uncheck delete cropped pixels so we don't lose any data. And we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to resize it to match our photo. And accept it. And now you have your canvas the same size as your photo, which is exactly what you want. This text layer at the top, you can move this around, you can change the text, you can change the font. Just use this type tool here and highlight it. If you don't have this font, you can download it. I think you have to pay for it. Or you can just choose, another font, whatever. It's really up to you. I'm going to hide it for this purpose, just so it's not in the way. And we're going to start with this glitter layer. This glitter layer creates this sparkly effect around your image. You can hide it, hide the layer entirely so you don't have any, or you can keep it in there. I'm going to keep it in there. And this layer also has a layer mask attached to it. And what this does is when you paint in this layer mask with black or white, it'll hide or show sparkles in that area. So if we have it selected and we choose the paintbrush tool, up here we're going to use a round brush. I like to keep the hardness down so it doesn't create any hard edges. And if we paint black, it's going to remove sparkles wherever you're painting. And I got the flow up here to 1. I'm going to set the flow to 100, opacity 100, and then I can start painting, where I don't want sparkles to show up. And I kind of just keep them away from the face. I like them to be on the face a little bit, so I just kind of do it right directly in the middle. If you mess up, you switch the paintbrush color down here to white, and you can paint them back. But I'm going to keep it black there, so she's not sparkly in the face. The next layer is the soft brush white layer. You're gonna choose the paintbrush tool, a round brush, change the hardness to 0 again. And for this layer, you're gonna want to turn the flow down to 1. I like it at 1. So there's no hard edges, just like in the glitter layer. And what this does is it adds light to areas that there is no light. So if we start painting over here, it's going to lighten up this area. And you can dramatically change how your entire photo looks, which is kind of cool. And that's how that works. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to show you the soft brush black layer. You're going to do the same thing as the soft brush white layer, except you're going to use a black color. Keep the flow at 1%, keep the hardness at 0 in your brush settings. You can use any size brush you want, but this one darkens it. As long as you're painting with black, it'll darken it. Just like this. And both of them have different effects. You can generally brighten your image, you can generally darken your image. I'm going to undo all this, and I'm going to show you the vignette layer. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. But this creates a border, like a shadowed border around your entire image to give you somewhat of a, what do they call it, like a old-fashioned look. Since you resized your image, the vignette or whatever, you can resize it to fit the size of your image. What you do is basically click the layer and go to Edit, Transform. Edit Free Transform, or Control T if you're on Windows. You can just drag this to the edge like this. You can increase the effect by changing the opacity of the layer. I kind of like it like that. It looks great without it too, so it's up to you. And then you have these red folders. These are the presets that I showed in the mock-up preview. The Dreamy Pink is, the standard one. If you hide it and show the Dreamy Blue, you can hide that, show the Dreamy Purple, hide that, and show the Dreamy Red. I'm going to work in the original one. And if you expand the folder, you're going to see another folder inside it called Spot Colors and one called Gradient Map. The Gradient Map creates the overall color of the image. So if we double-click that, you can go ahead and change these settings and alter these colors. So basically what you're going to do is click this little tab here and then change the color by clicking that, and you can add any color you want. I like to keep a darker color on the left. It creates more of a great look. And then maybe a lighter color over here. You don't want it too bright. Some colors don't work great. That's why I have the presets. But you can mess around and see if you can find something that works for you. You can also move these. It kind of lowers the effect. But yeah, I'm going to close that out. I'm going to just keep it original. Excuse me. And the Spot Colors folder, you're going to expand it, and you're going to have a left glow and a right glow. So if you choose the left glow layer, the move tool, there's a certain glow, like it's a colored glow, and it enhances some of the colors. The right glow is down here. You can move them anywhere you want on your image to create whatever effect you're looking for. And if you expand each of these, you can change the color of the glow too. Glow color, if you double click the thumbnail, it'll bring up a color picker, and you can choose any color you want. Some of them don't have a great effect, some do. It really depends on the gradient map you choose. Each color will be affected differently. It'll create a different effect. You can do that with the left one, and you can change the color of the right one too. And look, right now we have it as pink, as you can see down here, if you want it to like blue or something. Which kind of looks cool. But yeah, that's that. And there's the same thing in the other presets, same folder setup. Same method. Next we have the adjustments layers. This is where you can adjust how your image, how dark or bright or how the shadows look. So you just double click the exposure layer and 3 sliders will pop up. I have it preset for darker images. I found these settings to work the best. But if every image is different, so you might want to adjust it a little bit if you want. You may not know what these mean. But the best way to learn is to just mess around with them and see what changes, so you can gauge how it's going to look. You could, if you want it faded, you can drag the offset up. If you want a little more darker, contrasted, you drag it down. Yeah, so that's how that works. And I'm going to get it back to the original. The brightness is exactly what it says. Double click it and you can change the brightness of the entire thing. Create totally different effect. And then we have the lights layer. These are kind of glows that I put around the PSD. The first one, if you click it and use the move tool up here, you can move it around and add light to where you want. Depending where you put it will drastically change it. And then you have a faded light one. It's barely visible. It just kind of generally lightens the area without too much of a exposure effect. You can increase the opacity of these, of any three of these you want. If you want a brighter light, you can turn it up. You want a darker light, turn it all the way down. And that's about it. If you have any questions, email me at design@25gfx.com. And thank you.